Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once once was lost, but now am found. Was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear, the hour I first believed. Through many dangers, toils, and snares, I have already come. 'Tis grace has brought me safe thus far, and grace will lead me home. The Lord has promised good to me. My word, my hope secures. He will my shield and portion be, as long as life endures. Yea, when this flesh and heart shall fail, and more to life shall cease, I shall possess within the veil a life of joy and peace. When we've been there 10,000 years, bright shining as the sun, we've no less to sing God's praise than when we first begun. Abide with me, fast falls the eventide. The darkness deepens, Lord, with me abide. When other helpers fail and comforts flee, help of the helpless soul, abide with me. Swift to its close, ebbs at last lit today. Earth's joys grow dim, its glories pass away. Change and decay in all around I see. O thou thou who changest not, abide with me. I fear no foe, with thee at hand to bless. Ills have no weight and tears no bitterness. Where is death's sting? Where grave thy victory? I triumph still if thou abide with me. Hold thou thy cross before my closing eyes. Shine through the gloom and point me to the skies. Heaven's morning breaks and earth's vain shadows flee. In life, in death, O Lord, abide with me.
Good morning. I'm Captain Angela Bond, your MC for this morning's service. I would like to welcome everyone here to this morning's Anzac Day Dawn Service. I also acknowledge members of Parliament, representatives of the Australian Defence Force, the Mayor of Fremantle and the City of Fremantle councillors. Please remember, this is a traditional silent service in honour of servicemen and servicewomen who failed to return from World War I, and to honour the service of all servicemen and servicewomen who have served to protect our nation's freedoms and ideals in every conflict and operation since. Having recently attended the official opening of HMAS Perth War Memorial in East Fremantle, it brings forth the memories of men from that ship who I have met over the years, and of other men and women I have had the good fortune to meet. The people I refer to fought for this country and for our ideals. They were just ordinary people who did extraordinary things. Some just did their jobs. Others managed to survive by being clever. Others just considered themselves lucky to have survived. Very few men or women would tell their full story, but they would talk about the moments of amusement, intrigue, or funny activities that occurred. Some would tell of why they were the person they had become. Others would keep their own counsel. No matter what, they did their part in wearing the uniform. I will now provide an overview of this morning's proceedings. Professor Len Collard will deliver the welcome to country. The catapult party will mount the monument. Chaplain Luke Alcusen, RAN, and Reverend Ernest Lennon will bless the Assembly. Wing Commander Adrian Greener will recite in Flanders Fields. Commodore Donald Sutherland will give the dawn service address. Professor Len Collard will recite the Ode of Remembrance in Noongar, and Regimental Sergeant Major Adam Law will recite the Ode of Remembrance in English. Following the Ode, we will pause for a minute's silence. This ceremony is followed by a Wreath Laying ceremony. The City of Fremantle Mayor will then address the Assembly. Petty Officer Christy Cameron will sing the New Zealand National Anthem, followed by the Australian National Anthem. Following the anthems, the catapult party will dismount the monument and the service will conclude. Housekeeping. In the case of emergency, please follow the direction of event staff and WA Police. Toilet facilities are located at the Knutsford Street entry to Monument Hill. First aid is based on the western side of the monument and will be roaming the grounds should you require medical assistance. I would now like to invite Professor Len Collard to please deliver the welcome to country.
Hiya. Ngalmorang in wajak nunga Briti niche bujura nunukata kadich Fremantle. Ngalakin kadich niche wajalak. Ngalmorang in kora bal ninalang niche bujura. Bura bal ninalang. Yai ngan ninalang. Ngalmorang in kwap weirn janang in nuna yao kuling niche bujura. Containment card niche nining. Nunukata buruan kwap wirin ya kuling nunukanyina lang ni ngan kadich kora ba murang wot kuling Europe, Asia, wamalak bujura. Kwap wirin ya kuling yai. Thank you. Basically, in Australia, I said that our people have been here a long time, in the past, today, and in the future. I call the good spirit to be here with us as we think about those that went overseas, as well as here domestically to defend the basis of the country. I call the good spirit to be with us on our journey today and reflect upon the past and remember those that have came before us. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Collard. Please stand whilst the catapult party mounts the monument. Please be seated. I'd like to invite Chaplain Luke Hutkusen, RAM and Reverend Ernest Lennon, to bless the Assembly.
Let us pray. Almighty God, the Father and Protector of all who trust in you, we commend
to you your fatherly goodness, the men and women who serve this nation in the armed forces, by sea and land and in the air. Be their strength when they are set in the midst of danger, and make them bold through life and death, to put their trust in you through Christ our Lord. Amen. The 23rd Psalm. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me lie down in the green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, and my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and will dwell in the house of the Lord forever.
Requiem. Amid angry guns and wailing shells, they stood in hourly peril of their lives, our knights of Gallipoli. They faced down fury, and like in conflict since, gave their lives for greater love, for justice and for liberty. Cold in the earth, but warm still in our hearts, we will remember them. We will work to keep alive that gallant spirit of devoted sacrifice. We will honour Anzac friends who risked themselves, who suffered for their courage. We won't forget you, or the agony you've known. And bearing all your scars of war, we'll learn to speak in sober terms of taking up our duty. We will remember.
Thank you, Chaplain Alcusen and Reverend Lennon. I would now like to invite Wing Commander Adam Greener to recite in Flanders Fields.
In Flanders Fields by John McCrae, 1915. In Flanders Fields the poppies blow, between the crosses row and row, that mark our place, and in the sky the larks still bravely singing fly, scarce heard amid the guns below. We are the dead. Short days ago we lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders Fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe. To you from flailing hands we throw, the torch be yours to hold it high. If ye break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders Fields.
Thank you, Wing Commander Greener. I now invite Commodore Daniel Sutherland to deliver the Dawn Service address.
Good morning. In a nation's history, great events whether in peace or war, live on in our memories. We remember them, not necessarily for what they achieved, nor for whether they were victories or defeats. Rather, we remember them for the quality of the human endeavour they called upon, for the extraordinary deeds by ordinary men and women, for examples and the legends that inspire us today. So it is with Anzac Day. On the dawn of April the 25th, 1915, thousands of soldiers from Australia and New Zealand landed at the beach we now know as Anzac Cove. Transported across oceans and delivered in darkness to a land they barely knew, these young, untested men advanced steadily onwards and upwards towards withering gunfire across impossible terrain and against a determined enemy. On this day, and in the months to come, the Anzacs demonstrated the best of Australia. They faced a terrifying ordeal with courage, camaraderie and honour. The tenacious efforts of the Anzacs are echoed in the selfless acts generations of defence personnel have continued to make throughout our history. The sailors of the Australian submarine AE2, who showed courage, skill and nerves of steel to get past the Ottoman warships and minefields into the Sea of Marmara, inspiring the Allied forces with their exploits. During the Second World War, the aviators who, against overwhelming odds, took on the Imperial Japanese forces above Darwin. Western Australians like Lieutenant Commander Max Sheehan, DSO and BAR, RANVR, who served with distinction in the corvette HMAS Bluebell, but perhaps more significantly, was one of the pioneers of the X-craft midget submarines. Max performed extraordinary feats in highly hazardous conditions in the craft as he penetrated the German-occupied fjords of Norway to sink a German ship near Bergen alongside in port, and later as he led the mission to successfully cut submarine cables between Hong Kong and Saigon and Singapore and Saigon, prompting the Japanese forces to rely on wireless communications which the Allies could intercept. The sailors, soldiers and aviators who have served our nation in Korea, Vietnam, Timor, Iraq and Afghanistan, in the waters and the skies around our coast and around our region. We remember and honour those who supported them, loved them and whose loss is enduring. Families, friends and communities share in their service and their sacrifice. On Anzac Day, it is important for us to remember the past, but also to look forward and make the most of what we have. By doing so, we honour those who have given so much for us, lest we forget.
Thank you, Commodore Sutherland. I now ask that everyone please stand, and I'd like to invite Professor Len Collard and Regimental Sergeant Major Adam Law to recite the Ode of Remembrance.
The Ode of Remembrance in Yunga. It's a direct translation. Pala yuat manjang kuling, ye ay ngalakin ali necha, yining manjang wut kuling. Manjalang yuat kulamat alang. Manjang yuat waragabert buduwan. Nichangak wut kuling ngaro ngunding. Burbanang, Nalakan Kadich Bala. We will remember them.
They went with songs to the battle. They were young, straight of limb, true of eye, steady and aglow. They were staunch to the end against odds uncounted. They fell with their faces to the foe. They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning we will remember them. Lest we forget.
Thank you, Professor Collard and Regimental Sergeant Major Law. I will now ask that you please be seated. The wreath laying ceremony will now commence.
Thank you, Captain Bond. Thank you also to Les Butt, who helps us every year make sure that everyone who wants to lay a wreath gets to do so. This morning we gather once again to remember and honour all the servicemen and women who have sacrificed so much for our country. It's my privilege to represent the City of Fremantle, and I thank you for joining us on this important day to pay respects. I too would like to acknowledge that we're meeting on the lands of the Whadjuk Noongar people. Thank you, Len, for your welcome to country, and honour their elders, past and present, as well as the Aboriginal servicemen and women who have served our country. I'd like to acknowledge our special guests, members of Parliament, representatives of the Armed Services, and City of Fremantle councillors. And of course, a special welcome to current and past servicemen and women, and the family and friends of those who are no longer with us. As we stop to think about the bravery and sacrifice of the Anzacs and those who have served in wartime and as peacekeepers since, today I want to reflect on a powerful but sometimes overlooked aspect of the Anzac story: music. For the soldiers who served at Gallipoli and on the Western Front, music was far more than entertainment. It was a lifeline. In the trenches far from home and under unimaginable stress, music offered comfort, connection, and courage. Songs like Waltzing Matilda became unofficial anthems, not just because they were familiar, but because they reminded soldiers of home, of peace, and of the lives they had left behind. In the quiet moments between battles, harmonicas, makeshift guitars, or simply the sound of voices raised in song helped to lift spirits and forge bonds between mates. The only memory my grandfather was happy to speak about from his time in a German prisoner of war camp during World War II was the string quartet they formed with instruments donated by the YMCA, and his learning to play the cello thanks to a fellow prisoner who was also first violin in the London Philharmonic. In his words, practicing Haydn's D minor quartet in a potato cellar, you just forgot about being in a prison camp when you could do these things. Music also played and continues to play a vital role in ceremonial and commemorative moments. Bugle calls, such as the haunting last post, carried immense emotional weight, marking the end of the day and later, the memory of those who never returned. And too, on the home front, there were music events held here in Fremantle during both wars, either to raise people's spirits or to raise money for war loans, which were a critical source of funding for governments during wartime. In the First and Second World Wars, each infantry battalion or navy ship typically had a band created from its members. The hands that played the instruments at official functions or en route marches would often double as stretcher bearers, taking the wounded from the front line. A few months ago, I went to hear one of our best-known Fremantle musicians, Mama Kin, play a concert down the road at the Fremantle Arts Centre. Reflecting on the tumultuous times we find ourselves in, she referenced a lesson from music that resonated through the crowd. She reminded us that the difference between harmony and disharmony is often only a semitone, a tiny shift that's only resolved by listening to one another. In a time when the world seems to be tumbling into disunity, perhaps all we can do as individuals is to adjust how we listen and find harmony with those who hold a different view. We owe it to those who have suffered to secure our peace and our freedom, lest we forget.
Thank you, Mayor Fitzharding. I'd now like to ask you to stand for the New Zealand National Anthem, followed by the Australian National Anthem.
E o ahatua o ngā iwi matora Atafakarangona me arora noa kia hua ko te pai kia tautoa ta whai mana ki tia mai ai o te aroa. God of nations at thy feet, in the bonds of love we meet. Hear our voices, we entreat. God defend our free land. God Pacific's triple star, from the sharps of strife and war, make her nations heard afar. God defend New Zealand. Australians, oh, let us rejoice, for we are one and free. We've golden soil and wealth for toil. Our home is girt by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty rich and rare. In history's page, let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strains then let us sing, advance Australia fair. Beneath the radiant Southern Cross, we'll toil with hearts and hands to make this commonwealth of us renowned of all the lands. For those who've come across the seas with boundless plains to share, with courage let us all combine to advance Australia fair. In joyful strains then let us sing, advance Australia fair.
Thank you, Petty Officer Cameron. Please remain standing whilst the catapult party dismounts the monument. I would like to thank our Aslan interpreter, Linda, for providing her service yet again. I would also like to thank the local DFES for attending to the flag replacement and the Fremantle Golf Course for providing the golf buggy. In closing this commemorative event, I take the opportunity to remember those men and women who have served in the Australian and New Zealand Defence Forces, working side by side over the years and even today whilst deployed on operations and overseas and close to our shores. This now concludes our Anzac Day service, and I invite those who wish to come onto the monument once I complete. The public are welcome to attend the North Fremantle service, which will take place at the Fallen Soldier War Memorial in North Fremantle at 9 a.m. The Anzac Day March will commence at 10:15 with a route through the Cappuccino Strip and finishing in Wallyup Court. There will be a poppy display in Wallyup Court for the public to view and engage in. Thank you for attending this morning's service.